Welcome to Wanneroo, Western Australia for the next round, with only 4 races to go of the ARCSOA Elite Series at Barbagallo Raceway, the Round of Australia. Vince Fries is your pole sitter with Trek Tauger in 2nd, Roman Rahal 3rd, John Art 4th, and Dornan Bouchard 5th. However, Bobby Jones actually was going to do the pole time. However, he spun off the road and beached the car. And so Jones will not be starting on the pole. He is starting down in 12th. The other major news item was that after Phoenix, Alex Allen has been awarded his 3rd strike. So Alex Allen is not here in Australia. He will be back in the Round of Ohio. And Lucas Hoffman, the New Zealand driver, who did very well in Indianapolis, might I add, all weekend, will be filling in for him. Kyle Biscelli at the end of Q2 spun off from running P8 on the grid, so there's a lot of good cars that are going to be starting a little further back than they should be. So we go a little bit through the order. It's nice to see Travis Scott not qualify last out of the cars that actually set times. Ace Vito and Padcar took an incident in Q1, and then Tyler Thaber had all kinds of mechanical problems in Q1, and he never even got around to even set a full lap time before that car could get going. The round of Barbagallo, the Barbagallo Speedway, or Raceway, is a very short but very twisty 1.5 mile road course here in Western Australia. It is known for providing some pretty interesting racing. However, the first lap can kind of be treacherous around here. So there will be a lot of tiptoeing, I think, on the first lap, especially toward the back of the field, because after turn 2 through like turn 4 or 5, there tends to be a lot of cars that might go off the road. Anyway, let's go down to the race. Vince Fries starts from the pole here at the Barbagallo Raceway. However, Trek Tauger, if you look at it, the second placement actually starts on the clean side of the grid and on the inside for the next corner, so I'm not exactly sure why they do that, but I digress, as here we go down to the green. This track, they tend to throw the green quite late on this track, and this is a late start. They are green right there, and away we go, and it doesn't look like it was a great start for Vince Fries, and it actually looks like Tauger did get a good start there. Down into 1 they go, and it looks like Tauger's probably going to lead coming out of turn 1. However, he's got to be stuck on the outside. Fries and Tauger are dueling up the hill. We got some Travis Scott off the track in the back. And as we go, oh, that's James Shelley around. I was kind of fearing some of the crashing there as Tauger leads coming out of the first complex of S's. Only James Shelley wrecked. That's actually a lot better than I thought they would do, as they rocket down to the turn down here at the bottom of the hill, as it looks like everyone has been minding their P's and Q's on the start of this race. Oh, looks like Lamas is off the track, and Lamas does save it, thankfully for him, and it also looks like maybe Padcar went off as well, as Trek Tauger will lead the first lap here at Barbagallo. Oh, we got a crash. That's Cohen and Myatt around in the back, and that is the first real accident of the day. It looks like Matty Myatt got turned somehow, and we've got a lot of stuff that went on there. Oh, looks like, oh, crash! Brock and Hoffman are around, and there they go off the track as well. So now seemingly our lap 1 carnage that kind of held off is saving up for lap 2. So we do have a couple of incidents we got to look at. The first accident was James Shelley going off here, and he would get forced wide by Matty Myatt. And then Zachary Fitzwater was there, and then he spins off of the bumper, off the rear bumper, actually, of Sean Angel. He wouldn't hit anything and would be able to continue on where James Shelley would. Padcar and Lamas actually would just slide off the road, it looks like, as they're just trying to deal with traffic down in the carousel. And luckily, they kept it under control. Both these two drivers did. All right, let's take a look and see what happens to Matty Myatt. Looks like Angel gets on the rear bumper of Myatt, and around she goes. And then as she's trying to get back going again, oh, the 77 gets forced down the track by, that would be Tylia Wallish, and then around they go. And then a little further up the track, you're going to see William Brock is going to make some contact here with Lucas Hoffman because of sliding around here, and around they go further up the track, as neither of the drivers would actually take that much damage. However, Hoffman did take a knock to the rear end of the car. Remember, Hoffman is filling in for Alex Allen, who struck out last week at Phoenix. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, it is Trek Tauger, followed by the 3 Reddit Davis cars of Freeze, Rahal, and that is Monaco there. And then John Arts actually lost a couple of spots back, or lost one spot now, and is actually fighting with Bobby Jones, who has been on an absolute tear since the start of the race. Remember, he started back in 12th, but he would have been the pole sitter and was fastest in both Q1 and Q2, and was fastest in Q3 if he wouldn't have spun off. So Bobby Jones is a driver we're going to need to watch today, as that car has won in the past here. Kenny Myatt has won this race before in car number 9. Myatt's, of course, coming back for the round of Ohio. Kind of surprising, considering he is, I think, still on crutches. But Bobby Jones will be driving a 96 car, a 37th car on the grid. On the full-time grid, that is, and that will be a very interesting thing to see as further up the track. It looks like Vince Freeze has a bit of a run on Trek Tauger in the making. Noah Hart did not get a good run out of the last corner because Bobby Jones kind of backed off a little bit there. Jones didn't get a good run through the corner, so now Hart, that actually forces Hart to go underneath Jones and actually brought Dodd right up to them. However, Hart is all over the place, and Dodd has to back off because of it. This track isn't exactly the easiest one to pass on. You gotta actually at times use kind of the bumper to make passes work here. And it's just a very, very difficult track for a lot of drivers to really get a grasp on when it comes to passing around here. Kyle Bisceglia and Nick Pericles are both championship contenders, however, they didn't qualify that well. Wow, Grayson Ace Vito started all the way back in P34, and now is up to 20th in 7 laps. Great start by Ace Vito. But both these two drivers are major championship contenders, as is Ace Vito, and they need to have a good run here because they are kind of starting to lose the plot a little bit because Dodd and a couple of drivers up front are trying to pull away a little bit here at the front of the pointy end of the field, and that's going to make things quite difficult for them, especially if they don't play their cards right here. However, it looks like Ace Vito is one of the fastest cars on track. Remember, he got in a crash, and that's why he was down the order as much as he was. Seems like Nick Pericles actually has gotten the plot correct here, and now is trying to make a move on Kyle Bisceglia here, as things are getting quite heated during the mid-pack here in this race. Actually, this track's mid-pack is actually, this track races in the mid-pack really well. Dornan Bouchard, remember, he started all the way up in 5th position. He's down to 12th, I believe. I believe he started 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So Bouchard will be something to watch as he's tumbling through the field. He's 2nd in points. Tyler Wallish has had a lot of issues with his car, and he's had to make a pit stop already, and he's had a lot of engine issues with his car, so, or not engine issues, he might be down a cylinder, actually. Roman Rahal now is making a move on his teammate Vince Freeze for 2nd position. This is a very important move here, like I said, as Rahal's never won a race before, and Freeze has in Mexico. And so like I said, they're both trying to chase down Trek Tauger in the lead, and it looks like Rahal is a bit faster than Freeze. And now Rahal now is trying to chase down Tauger for the lead of the race, and he looks a lot quicker than Trek Tauger by quite some margin. He set a lap time 2/10 quicker than Tauger a couple laps ago, and now as they rocket down the back straightaway here, it looks like Freeze is Rahal is all over the back of him, as actually Monaco's being held up by Wallish there. Rahal can't do anything there, but it looks like there's a huge gap back to 5th position, as that's Wilhoit taking it away from Arndt there. Wilhoit has been on a tear since the start of the race. Wilhoit has been. Wilhoit started all the way down in 9th position. However, he's up to 5th now. And he has been really quick, or Wilhoit has been, on some of these older tire runs all weekend. Vince Freeze now has reeled back in his teammate now, and is going to try and take over 2nd back. And meanwhile, Trek Tauger is loving this, because as they're doing battle, they're slowing each other down. The Reddit Davis cars, and Freeze isn't going to get it that time. That carousel tends to prefer the outside line, which Rahal had. And now you've got Grayson Ace Vito and Kyle Bisceglia doing battle. These two are major championship contenders through this race, and That's going to be very... Oh, no! Kyle Bisceglia blows the motor! Oh, man. Okay, so that's one of the championship contenders with major problems today, as looks like DeMax gets held up there, and Caldwell will as well. So Kyle Bisceglia, a major championship contender, will not finish this race and not score any points. That is not good for Bisceglia. Chris Dodd has worked his way by John Arndt here, so this is where things are getting very interesting. Arndt's tumbling through the field as Bobby Jones has kind of stayed stagnant here, been kind of stuck behind Arndt since the start of this race, and it looks like Jones is trying everything he can. However, Arndt and Jones have been in a spirited battle for the entire race. However, beyond that point, other cars have gotten by them. So that is not what Arndt or Jones wants to see. Jones has been kind of struggling with Arndt all day. Just an FYI, Grayson Acevedo in 14 laps has jumped from 34th on the grid to 17th. Yes, in 14 laps, Grayson Acevedo has gained 17 positions. I'll just let you think about that. And now it's going to be 16 positions here if he gets Dover here, Benjamin Dover here, and it looks like that's going to be the case. So, Acevedo is on a tear today. Like I said, Bobby Jones is a major championship contender. However, Noah Hart, his teammate, another major championship contender, would get by him now, and this would actually put him into the clutches of DJ Curtis, as he can't get to the inside, so Curtis is going to slot underneath him and grab that spot. So Bobby Jones has really taken a tumble a little bit since the start of this race, despite being the fastest car all weekend, the Nine's been. Jones is not doing as well as he would like to have. Lucas Hoffman makes an unscheduled pit stop. His tires were blistering from that earlier spin he did. He's going to come out right in between Tristan Wilhoit and Chris Dodd, two cars that are very quick on the track right now. And Hoffman is going to, he's got to make his life, he has got to make Dodd's life easier. He's the point leader and his teammates, so if I'm Lucas Hoffman, I'd be letting Dodd go by. Eric DeMax has went off the road and hit something. We're going to have to take a look and see what happened to DeMax, because he's not very quick out there. This was actually earlier in the race, as Eric DeMax would go wide here, and this pit road entrance has always been an issue here on this track, and he would just clip it and then just cause a lot of damage to the right side of his car. That's kind of a rookie mistake there, Eric. Ray Hall is all over the back end of Trek Tauger again here for the lead of this race. However, he would make the wrong move and slide wide, and now that would allow Vince Freeze to go underneath him here. This is a very momentum-based track, and now Vince Freeze is going to take over second position on the track. Not what what Ray Hall wanted to say. I'm sorry if I said that was Eric Monaco, but Ray Hall now has dropped to, I believe, second or third position, and Freeze is back up in second. Leaders are all coming down pit road. That is Vince Freeze, Eric Monaco, Dodd is in. And this is how you enter pit road, everybody. You just kind of snake in between that pit road entrance here. It is a double pit lane here, because the pit road isn't exactly the longest thing on the planet. And here comes a bunch of other cars coming down pit road. Oh, it looks like Pericles is blowing up the motor. Pericles grenades the motor again. And that is going to desperately hurt his championship hopes right there. Pericles grenades the motor again. Oh, man, that's got to stink for him, because he is going to fall out of the race right there. Tauger, Ray Hall, and Wilhoit pit. Here comes Noah Hart in the back as well. And like I said, no one else seems to be making that move like DeMax did. They're all seemingly snaking on pit road at a very nice rate of speed. However, this is where the race off pit... Oh, contact between Arndt and Caldwell. Those two are not racing for position. I believe one is... No, they are racing for position. I'm sorry, Arndt had a really bad pit stop, and Caldwell had a really good pit stop. A little bit of contact there never hurt anybody, as look at the pit stop that Trek Tauger got. A huge, great pit stop as Vince Freeze takes over second, and you've now got another... Well, there's Wilhoit Dodd doing battle again, as here they go around this track. Also, that's Travis Scott, P8. Right there, Travis Scott had a blisteringly fast pit stop, and he's in P8 in the KR Subaru car. Great to see Scott that high up the order. Meanwhile, in the back, John Arndt had an atrocious pit stop with pit gun problems. He's almost going to get lapped. So Arndt's championship hopes are capitulating right before his eyes, and it's kind of a shame because he looked like the odds-on favorite for the championship at the early part of the season. Oh, looks like we had a car go off the road. Aiden Shepard came out of the pits at the wrong time. Also looks like Davidson was involved in an incident there. And Shepard goes off the road and came out in a 3-wide situation with Tyler Faber and William Brock. Remember, actually, Shepard was on the lead lap, too. While Pericles was blowing up, this is what happened to Davidson. Davidson comes onto the scene here and doesn't realize what's really going on and runs into the back of Faber. And Davidson would have to get his hood removed because of that. Vince Freeze would get underneath Trek Tauger for the lead of the race here, and Tauger is going to, I think, have to succeed this position as Freeze looks very quick on the track here and is going to take over the lead of the race. Good to see Freeze do that here. Cohen's coming out of the pits, and that's at a very strange angle for, that's going to hurt Tauger over there. Oh, Tauger turns him! Tauger turns Cohen around, and oh no! Roman Rahal hits him! Rahal hits him, and Tauger had no time to try and deal with a blue flag from Cohen. Cohen was not paying attention, and Tauger turns him, and Rahal runs into him. Not a whole lot, that could be getting a steward's inquiry, I believe. That could be. Tauger could get a steward's inquiry for that. From 19th on back, even though these positions really don't matter, there's a lot of really competitive racing. We've got drivers like DJ Curtis, Cody Lamas, James Shelley, Chase Dunbar, Wallish, Myatt, and Tyler Faber all battling for position. These drivers have all had... Myatt went way off the road there. All had some sorts of problems today and are trying to recover quite nicely here. Whoa, look at the dive bomb that Brock pulled there on the 3 car on the 28. That was a great move, as the 3 is a lot quicker than some of the cars he's racing with. And this is where Brock needs to use his experience here to really make moves work. Noah Hart has been held up by Malachi Cohen since the start of this stint here. Lost a couple spots to Bobby Jones and Vanderpesh. However, Hart, like I said, is a major championship contender. However, with Dodd in 4th position and with Will Hoyt looking to chase down Tauger in 3rd, I'm thinking that the points, because Tauger and Dodd's ahead of Hart in points. Tauger, I don't believe, is. This is where things are going to get quite interesting because right now Vince Freeze has a huge lead. John Arndt has been marred in in slower traffic all day. He's down in 32nd position. Remember, Arndt had a great weekend going today, and, now he's not even on the tracks he's that strong at, like your Barbagallos. Catawba Central doesn't seem like a track he'd be terribly strong at. Obviously, we have no idea what Catawba Central is going to throw at us. Donut City, probably not. And then Amaria is the very high-speed road course in Amaria. I'm wondering if John Arndt's championship is officially, realistically dead. I won't mathematically call him out yet, but it's going to be getting very difficult now if you're not doing these consistent results on these road courses, considering the final 4 races are all road courses. It's going to be very, very difficult for Arndt to keep going. Look how far Eric Monaco has fallen down the order. Remember, he was in 4th for a while. Now he's down battling for 15th with the PureTech Team Australia cars, who were expected to come in here and really start kicking everyone's butt, but PureTech hasn't done anything today, as Monaco has gotten 15th away, the final point spot for Fitzwater. However, Monaco's got to keep that car on the road. Travis Scott had to make an unscheduled pit stop and now is down to 31st position, so his great run of running in top 10 positions didn't go very far, to be honest with you, as Travis Scott is way down the order. The Texan native got to do better. Vince Freeze has been on an absolute tear, but now he's coming up to some lap traffic. He's been actually gaining about 0.3 of a second on a lap over everybody else, so over 2nd position, that is. And now Freeze has now caught the rear end of Travis Scott, the first lapped car of the day. here on lap 31, and this track is, like I said, not exactly the easiest to pass on, so this is where Freeze's huge lead might start capitulating here. However, he does get a good run off the carousel, and actually gets Scott with relative ease here, Travis Scott, and in the braking zone, this is where the Reddit Davis car is oh so strong there, and he very easily laps the 19 car. Will John Arndt be another story, though? That's going to be a big question here, as now Vince Freeze has caught John Arndt here and coming up to him on a very difficult stretch of road here, this is, and like I said, it's not the easiest place to pass somebody here, as it looks like Arndt actually does make his life easy, though. Arndt is being a gracious backmarker, and I know the frustration's getting to him, but this is where things just get kind of crazy for some of these drivers here, as now Freeze has caught Vance Caldwell here, and this is where you got to just be very careful if you're Vince Freeze. He's won a race before in Mexico, and now he could theoretically end up getting a win here in Barbagallo in Australia, so he's really good on non-American tracks, we've realized. With an insurgence of them next year, Vince Freeze could actually be a really serious threat, as here they go down to the final corner on the track. Like I said, it's not a very difficult track we're on here, and, well, looks like Freeze is having a lot of trouble getting by Caldwell here, and this is where things get very, very tiptoey for Vince Freeze over Vance Caldwell here, and it looks like he will get this spot here, as just look at the control that Vince Freeze's car has through some of these S-bend complexes. Tristan Wilhoit and Chris Dodd have been held up by Trek Tauger since for like 12 laps, it seems like, and now finally these two drivers are making a move on the 31 car, much needed move, might I add, as Wilhoit takes over P2, and Dodd is going to take over third here. This is not what any championship contender wants to see, is see Dodd that high up the grid. Leader Vince Freeze would bring it down pit road here, and now this is where things get interesting, because pit road cycles are going to be huge. Wilhoit stays out, Dodd stays out. Remember, they're like 6 seconds back. Ray Hall, who is on 5th, brings it down pit road. Oh, crash in front! And that is somebody off the road, I believe, and it might have been Travis Scott there making contact with Wilhoit. Yeah, it seems like Wilhoit got the memo that Freeze was pitting and, well, didn't want to deal with Travis Scott, so punts him right out of the way. That could be getting the steward's inquiry as well. Cannot speak today. As Travis Scott is trying to not let that car get beached, and it looks like that won't be the case, as he's trying to back it out and try and get it to pavement, and he does get it to pavement. Great job by Travis Scott. Oh, but Myatt hits him in the process. Wilhoit stays out, however, Dodd brings it down pit road, so now we're starting to see some more pit stop cycles play out. His BFM teammate Angel pits as well, and this is where things just get really complicated pit road strategy-wise here. We know Freeze has a huge lead, or has about a 6-second lead coming in, and there's Vince Freeze right there, and it looks like Freeze is just going to get even a bigger lead right here as we speak, as Coop Caldwell's on pit road seemingly for a long period of time. I wonder what happened to him, as no, maybe not, as Dodd now rejoins the race behind some cars that haven't pitted yet. That is being DJ Curtis and Jack Halleck. So Vince Freeze, I think, will continue to lead this race, as we're looking to see where Wilhoit is. Wilhoit's bringing it down pit road right. Look at how chaotic this pit road is here, as here comes a bunch of cars out of the pits, and Wilhoit has to wait because of the way the pit road is. That's actually going to hurt him quite a bit there, as Vince Freeze has a rather large lead now, as Dodd actually gets Wilhoit as well. So I'm actually wondering to see if anybody jumped in between them there, because that really held him up there. Scott Roush and somebody else have not pitted yet. Oh, crash! Aiden Shepard again coming out of the pits has issues, as Trek Tauger was the leader of the race after the pit stop cycle. Didn't get anything there, and that's the second time Shepard's come out of the pits and something's happened to him. Yeah, this is just a product of the Barbagallo pit road, as Trek Tauger lets his aggression out again here. Now on Aiden Shepard, as Tauger claimed the position was his. And actually, Bobby Jones gets held up because of it. Through all the chaos of pit road cycle, Dornan Bouchard finds himself a lap down in 25th position. This is not good for Bouchard. Oh, crash bit in the back. I heard somebody crash in the back. We're going to have to take a look and see what happened. It might have been, no, it wasn't Roush. Some incident has taken place on the circuit. And it involves race leader Vince Freeze as he would turn the 19 car off the road. I don't believe Freeze would have an issue here. However, he would lose a ton of time there. And that would really hurt Vince Freeze, as it would knock the 19 out of the race at the same time. Vince Freeze still has the lead of the race, but his lead has been decimated right there. There is Chris Dodd in second position, not that far behind Vince Freeze now, as there's also Will Hoyt back there too. Will Hoyt's actually looking a lot quicker than Dodd. And, oh, looks like, yeah, there's Travis Scott, the damaged 19 car right there. He has been towed back to the pits. He's going to fall out of the race right there. However, there's a lot of lap cars between Dodd and Freeze, but is Freeze's car all right after that? Doesn't seem to look at it in comparison to, like, Dodd, who in traffic is running faster than him. And now Freeze is in even heavier lap traffic here with Wallish and Brock in his sights. And this is where things just get very, very complicated. As now, though, this is what Freeze wants to hear, is Dodd and Will Hoyt now are going to do battle for second, it looks like here. But there's some battling going on in front of them between Thaber and Davidson. And here, oh, Dodd goes off the road, and that's going to give the spot to Will Hoyt. So, very chaotic racing so far in the middle stages of it, as Freeze is losing a ton of time behind William Brock. However, Freeze is trying to pick off cars left and right, but Brock is not making his life easy. I think if you're Will Hoyt or Dodd, you've got to play your pit stop card right on your next pit stop here, and you've got to get through this lap traffic. This is the most crucial point of the race if you're Will Hoyt or Dodd. And Will Hoyt and Dodd are slicing through the lap cars like a hot knife through butter right now. And this is where things are getting very chaotic because Freeze is still being held up by William Brock. So there is a lot of time in between them here. However, Will Hoyt is really holding his speed well through this pack, and Dodd's following him through. So this is where things are going to get very interesting at the front of the field, as it looks like Freeze is going to try again down the straightaway. However, remember, those Reddit Davis cars don't have a lot of straight line power here compared to, like, the DNCs, which are one of the most powerful cars on the grid. Roman Rahal runs P4, and right now Sean Angel's in 5th. We haven't really gone through the field. Dover is 6th, Jones is 7th, 8th goes to Noah Hart, 9th and 10th are to Bastinger and Tauger, Tauger's race is falling apart from 2nd on the grid. Vanderpesch 11th, Hoffman's up to 12th despite spinning off early in the race. Aiden Shepard's had a miserable day. Ace Vito has kind of stayed in 13th ever since pit stop cycle ago. He teared through the field really early on and hasn't done anything really since. 14th is Halleck, 15th is Monaco, and 16th is Roush, the first car outside of the points. Vince Freeze is still stuck behind William Brock. However, he is kind of showing his frustration a little bit here. Goes on the outside, somehow makes this work and makes the move stick. So great move by Vince Freeze. However, he lost a ton of time to Tristan Wilhoit, who has been murdering through the field, or through these lap cars. However, ever since Vince Freeze has gotten into clean air, he's pulling on Wilhoit second. Wilhoit still has to get by Bouchard and Brock. And Wilhoit is massively being held up here by these two and has to get way out of the throttle because the 88 and the 3 are battling for 22nd position. And that really hurts Wilhoit as Freeze is pulling away again here. However, there is some heavier lap traffic still in front of Freeze that Freeze is going to have to deal with eventually if he keeps on the same pace he's going. Dornan Bouchard makes a move on Brock for 22nd, and actually that's going to hold him up there, and Wilhoit turns him. Wilhoit has no business being there, or no business dealing with the slow car, and Wilhoit loses second to Dodd. However, Wilhoit drops to 3rd but keeps going, and luckily that was just a kind of nudge to get out of the way. I don't believe that should get a steward's inquiry because I think that was done in a manner that, well, didn't jeopardize. It only jeopardized Bouchard's race, and Bouchard and Brock have been a bit of idiots today when it comes to not getting out of the way. Meanwhile, Dodd is being held up here by Tyler Thaber and William Brock. So, Freeze is loving this because Freeze is just running away right now. Seems like nobody wants second position behind Freeze, but this race has been a very good one so far. Dodd finally gets to the lap traffic here, and Wilhoit's realizing he has to start thinking about going here. And Wilhoit now is, like I said, stuck behind the 3 car. He got by the 28 with a lot of ease, actually. And the 3 now has been an idiot. And I'm wondering if Brock tries any of the stuff that Bouchard did, if Wilhoit will do the same thing. However, it doesn't look like that needs to happen because it looks like Wilhoit's just got more speed than Brock down the straightaway there. And that was a pretty easy move there for third. Meanwhile, Vince Freeze is coming up to lap DJ Curtis and Cody Lamas. Remember, Curtis is also a championship contender, not having a good day today. And looks like, oh, here comes some cars down pit road. These are the 2 cars that pit earlier than everybody else. That's Hoffman and DeMax. And this is what Freeze has to deal with here, is now some just intense lap traffic here, and it doesn't look like Curtis is going to make Freeze's life that easy. And remember, Freeze is now on older tires, and it looks like Curtis is trying to get his lap back. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, though, as Freeze can just motor off the corner like he wants to. Ray Hall is actually the first of the leaders to pit, really. He was running 5th, if you recall. And this is where things get very interesting because we've seen that pitting early has been a real benefit here. And they're keeping Freeze out. Oh, looks like something's wrong with Fitzwater there. Fitzwater had I'm wondering if they were checking his tires there, as it looks like here comes Freeze down pit road now. And there's Dodd and Wilhoit battling for what will be the lead, as they have passed now the Vince Freeze cars. Now here comes Wilhoit. Now Dodd has technically led the lap, but Wilhoit's going to try and take over the lead now in a rather interesting fashion here, as here they go, battling very hard here. This isn't what I'd be doing if I were these two, considering that Freeze is on pit road right now. I'd be trying to set pretty quick lap times here, but Freeze is now coming out of the pits. I believe he'll have a clear track. No, maybe he won't. Oh boy, is that Aiden Shepard, the master of screwing up pit roads for everyone? And Freeze now is in heavy traffic. Well, not really heavy traffic, but enough traffic to really make his life more difficult. And he is on cold tires as well. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, you have the 2 leaders of Wilhoit and Dodd. Dodd is not pitting, and Dodd's having a tough time with his teammate, might I add. And now Wilhoit has to set some pretty quick times here. Now remember, Wilhoit had a very slow time there because they were trying to deal with Lucas Hoffman. And so now Freeze has to be starting to look at some pretty quick times here. And that's where things are going to get very difficult for Freeze, especially if lap cars become a factor later on. As you can see, Vince Freeze now is trying everything he can to really... Oh boy, he lost the rear end! He's off the track! Freeze loses it and is into the tires! And Vince Freeze is going to go out of the race. The provisional leader has just gone out on pit stop cycle, so the battle between Wilhoit and Dodd is actually the battle for the lead. Oh boy, this race just got totally turned on its head right now as Dodd's on pit road. Wilhoit has decided to stay out a little longer, but Vince Freeze's race is done. After dominating today, Freeze is done. We are on board with Vince Freeze right now, and this is just, you just see he was dominating this race, gets on the curbing, and that puts 2 wheels off the track, and he can't control it because the course kind of falls away there. The ground does, goes downhill, and he just goes out of the race. Tough break for Freeze. So Wilhoit's on pit road, Dodd is not, and here comes Wilhoit out of the pits, but it looks like Dodd is going to be the leader of the race here, and actually Rahal is going to get Wilhoit as well. However, remember, I think Wilhoit's the fastest of the 3, So this race has just gotten a heck of a lot closer than it used to be. Meanwhile, another championship contender having a bad day. Trek Tauger would break down on track, and that would be a tow back to the pits for Trek Tauger, so his race is effectively over as well. He was running 5th. So Dodd leads now over Rahal and Will Hoyt. 4th now is Sean Angel, and 5th is Benjamin Dover. Remember, Dover needs this race to really Rookie of the Year standings now is wide open because Team Flames really come on strong late. And now Dodd is struggling with DJ Curtis. Rahal has not led, I think, in this race so far. And now Rahal's going for the lead. So Roman Rahal, now the Ohioan, is now using DJ Curtis as a pick. A very veteran move there by Rahal to make a move stick. So Rahal is now effectively taking over for his teammate. So pitting early has really made Rahal's life easy. And so now Rahal, one Reddit Davis car falls out of the lead. You got another one leading it. And now you've got Dodd now trying everything he can to get by Curtis, because you've got to be very careful about Tristan Wilhoit because his car looks dangerously fast. And now Wilhoit gets by Curtis as well, but Wilhoit lost a ton of time there dealing with his teammate. However, his teammate finally lets him go. And now you've got Dodd all over the rear bumper of Rahal here, and Dodd's a lot quicker than Rahal. So this race is just getting crazier and crazier. Dodd is all over the rear end of Rahal now, and Rahal has had a lot of issues with James Shelley. Rahal slides a little bit wide there. Dodd now is all over him. He's going to try and make a move down in the carousel here. And, oh boy, Wilhoit's got to really start closing in now, because Wilhoit's faster than all of these cars by about 2/10. And now Dodd is going to try and get his lead back. Remember, Dodd is the championship contender. Has only won one race before on Road America. However, Rahal dives in it a little deeper, and Rahal's going to continue to lead the lap here. Oh, but it's going to be side by side here. It looks like something went wrong for Wallish there. And not by much, though. Rahal led that lap, but here comes Tristan Wilhoit. Wilhoit's loving this because they're just burning time right there, dealing with each other. Dodd gets the spot. However, Rahal is right there. Yeah, it looks like Wallish has had a mechanical problem on track, so that's not good for him. Tough break for Wallish. Now it's Dodd's turn to try and deal with James Shelley. And here's where battling gets so incredibly important. This race has been probably one of the best of the season so far. Just the intense battling. Who said that this type of racing can't happen on road courses? This is the type of racing the fans pay to see, and granted, it's not exactly in prime hours for Americans to watch it, but boy, will they see this when they see this on tape delay tomorrow afternoon. This race will be a fantastic one for them to see, as it looks like Dodd is struggling with Shelley a bit here. However, he has the speed on Shelley. However, Shelley has more straight line speed down here as Wilhoit's making a move here on the 5 car. Wilhoit's realizing that Dodd is struggling with the 84 car. However, he has to make the move quick here, and I don't think he's going to do it. I really don't think he's going to make that move that quickly there. And it looks like Dodd is going to maybe get by Shelley here. Shelley is going to, I think, have to concede the track position here. However, he is not making it easy as Dodd slots back there. As, oh, looks like Rahal's trying to fight Wilhoit a bit more there. However, Rahal has to concede. Oh no, and Rahal's blown a tire! Oh, Rahal's blown it. He's blown a tire. Tough break for Roman Rahal. And that's going to kill Reddit Davis's last bullet in the chamber right there. And, oh man, Roman Rahal was going to be dueling here for a possible victory. And now he's got a tire go down. And he's trying to get out of the way here. Remember, the pit road's on the outside, and Dunbar hits him. And that's going to put him in the kitty litter once again here. And I don't know what Rahal was thinking because the pit road's on the outside of the track, and it looks like he's going to come in at a very awkward angle and actually clips the pit wall. Will Hoyt has been struggling with lapped cars since the start of since the last couple of runs there, and Dodd has been pulling on him. He gets by Cohen, however, he hasn't been able to get by Shelley here. And this is where things are getting quite interesting because Lamas now, who's at 16, so yeah, surprising that Cody Lamas is at 16, is now going to be a factor for Dodd here. And where's third place now? Who is in third? That's Sean Angel in the 81. So BFM's having a pretty good day today. Dover's up to fourth, so Rookie of the Year is just blown wide open. Excuse me, wide open because Halleck's in 10th, so looks like both rookies will be scoring today. If Will Hoyt could get by Shelley, I really think Will Hoyt would have a shot at this, as we're under 20 to go. Like I said, this is a long race. Barbagallo always tends to be. It's 87 laps, and the laps take about 55 seconds to get around. And now you've got, like I said, just he's trying to get by Shelley here. However, Dodd's going to have to deal with both DeMax and the 48 car. And now, if you're Will Hoyt, you are so frustrated with Shelley here. And we've seen Will Hoyt dump cars he doesn't like in front of him. Will Hoyt really wants another victory, and his luck has never been that good in this, or recently in this series, and now it just doesn't seem it. Like he can get the straightaway speed up required to pass Shelley, as now Dodd is making a move on DeMax. And, well, DeMax is rather slow out there. He's about 2 seconds off the pace. There's Lucas Hoffman, the 48-1 and the 81's teammate. And right here, just once again, the 25 is struggling with the 84. Finally, the 25 will make a move on the 84 here. However, the 84's got straightaway speed, so it might not be that easy. However, it looks like the 25, if he needs to, is going to effectively take that spot away here. However, I don't know why Shelley's fighting so hard. He's a lap down. It doesn't really matter to him. But yeah, Shelley was fighting here. Now the 41 has gotten by the 48, so Will Hoyt has lost a ton of time behind James Shelley. Chris Dodd's presumably coming in to make his final pit stop of the race here, as once again Will Hoyt decides he's going to stay out here. And, well, this is where Will Hoyt's really got to make his money's worth here, because Dodd's on a premier strategy here. However, I think Will Hoyt's car is faster than Dodd's, and he's got to start getting by these cars here quickly. And Lamas has not made his life easy either, because he didn't make Dodd's life easier. Well, actually, Lamas did make his life pretty easy. Looks like we had a car go off the track down at the bottom end of the track, but unsure who that really was. Doesn't look like there was much damage. Ace Vito's up to fourth, might I add. So a lot of chaos has allowed Ace Vito up into a good position. Bobby Jones now is presumably second. Oh, looks like Lamas is off the road. And that might have had something to do with Will Hoyt. No, it didn't, but it had something to do with Lamas and Hoffman. And Lamas and Hoffman go way, way, way off the road. And it looks like Lamas could not slow down enough there. Oh, no, Hoffman was mad at him for that. And just cleared Lamas out there. And Hoffman was not in the mood to deal with Lamas there. The fiery New Zealand driver here was kind of upset here that Lamas kind of made an outside move there, and Lamas kind of ran him down the track there, and Hoffman didn't like that. Hoffman then gets really ticked off about it and essentially just wrecks the 48. So that was a rather aggressive move there, and I'm guessing he's going to be called to the hauler. The battle for what could possibly be fourth now is heating up, and oh, they make contact. Roush and Dover go off the road, and it looks like Roush is done. Dover's going to keep going. So this race is just getting turned completely upside down, and I don't even know who's going to be in the last podium position now. Well, behind Angel, that is. The 25, I'm not sure where he is either. The 25 is continuingly to stay out here, I believe. Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. No, actually, has Will Hoyt pitted? Somehow, Will Hoyt lost the lead! Okay, Will Hoyt has pitted. Angel, I don't believe, has. Where's Dodd? Looks like Dodd might have had an off-track excursion. I was wrong. Sean Angel's actually the leader of this race. He had a pit stop and is already pitted. He is on a totally different strategy. He came in about 5 laps before anybody else did. However, will he make it on fuel now is the big question. Dodd, on the other hand, is all the way down in 5th, having all kinds of problems with his pit stop. So Dodd is effectively out of this one as well. Dover's still in front of him, and Jones is now in 3rd. Will Hoyt's in 2nd, and Angel might have just snookered everybody. Will Hoyt is now on a bit of a... Will Hoyt's being stuck in lap traffic, however, right now Angel is... Angel right now could be the car to watch now, as he is the leader of the race. However, will he have enough fuel to make it to the end? It's the big question. I think he will. I think Angel pitted early and didn't have to deal with the lap traffic, because the lap traffic pitted. Will Hoyt did. However, Will Hoyt has got to set some blistering fast lap times now, and there isn't a lot of lap traffic in between the two. However, there is 6 seconds. And with only 7 to go, you've got to really be setting some quick times. However, Angel's going to have some lap cars to deal with and has to save fuel. And Will Hoyt has just cut a half second out of Angel's lead. However, Angel, and that's a clear advantage to Will Hoyt there. However, Angel now is struggling with fuel conservation modes here. Jones is up to 3rd. Jones is needing this because Dodd, like I said, is a major championship contender. Dodd is now catching Dover for 4th. Dodd had this race locked up, but got held up in traffic and had a little bit of and had a really bad pit stop. BFM's terrible pit strategy screw him over again. Will Hoyt continues to cut into Angel's lead by a good margin. However, Angel has a very comfortable margin he's dealing with here, but there is some intense battling going in front of him here. And that's what Angel has to worry about here. The Canadian driver has to worry about that. As you can kind of see, the 81 was in the carousel when Will Hoyt was on screen. And now, like I said, it's going to be hard for Will Hoyt to make that gap up. However, Will Hoyt is taking about a second off a lap here. However, Angel in his fuel conservation mode, I mean, if he can save the gas and get it around, he is going to win this race, because I don't see Will Hoyt having a shot at it, really. Will Hoyt is a long way back, unless if Angel has to do a splash and dash. Will Hoyt's going to finish 2nd, and Angel's going to win this with only 2 to go. And we're going to see, look at the just speed overall Will Hoyt's had this day. And it's just, he's a full second faster than Angel. Angel now is approaching the final lap of the round of Australia. It has been a chaotic and wild race today. But can Angel have enough fuel to bring it home? It's going to be 1 to go here, and Angel was sputtering off the final corner there. So Angel has got to save, and just hope that that car makes it home. Will Hoyt just made a mistake on the last lap. So it's all about Angel bringing this car home. Remember, he is pitted so much earlier than anybody else. And the car apparently was sputtering off the last corner. Will Angel make it around is the big question. Remember, Will Hoyt did take another half second out, though. He made a mistake and took another half second out, so just shows what kind of speed Will Hoyt's got. Angel's down the back straightaway here, and as long as he can probably coast it home from now, because it's basically downhill the rest of the way. And Sean Angel on pit strategy will take over the win here in Australia. Sean Angel wins the round of Barbagallo here in Wanneroo, Western Australia. Will Hoyt brings home 2nd. 3rd position is going to go to Bobby Jones in the 9 car, his last race in the 9 car. 4th goes to Dodd, as Dodd has gotten by Benjamin Dover. 5th is Dover, and 6th is Noah Hart. Let's go down to your full finishing results. So once again, Barbagallo proves to be a race of endurance and speed as Sean Angel takes the victory here. Remember, Will Hoyt was 7 seconds back about 10 laps beforehand. Look how much Will Hoyt cut in. That is quite immense what he could do. Will Hoyt, I believe, after Vince, well, even after Vince Freeze fell out, Wilhoit was the dominant car of the day. Bobby Jones comes across third. Dodd fourth. Dodd will also increase his point lead because, except over, like I said, Jones and Angel. Dover and Hart come home 5th and 6th. Monaco 7th. Hoffman 8th. Great to see Lucas Hoffman up there in the top 10. Great day for BFM, by the way, despite them flubbing Dodd's pit stop. 9th goes to Ace Vito, and 10th goes to Halleck. 11th goes to Baskinger. 12th goes to Myatt. 13th is the first car lap down, Zachary Fitzwater. 14th goes to Curtis. 15th to Thaber. 16th to Shelley. 17th to Dunbar. 18th to Vanderpesh. 19th to Rahal. 20th to Arndt. 21st to Bouchard. 22nd to Brock. 23rd to Hadcar. 24th to Davidson. 25th to Caldwell. 26th to Shepard. 27th, 2 laps down to Lamas. 28th to DeMax. 29th to Tauger. 30th to Cohen. 31st to Roush, first car out of the race. 32nd to Walsh. 33rd to Freeze. 34th to Scott. 35th to Pericles. And 36th to Kyle Bisceglia. Let's go down to your points after, with only 3 races to go. There's only 130 points up for grabs. So, after the round of Barbagala, or the round of Australia here in Barbagallo, Chris Dodd has a has a little bit of a points lead over Noah Hart, Dornan Bouchard, and Grayson Ace Vito. All of those drivers, well, with the 50-pointer coming up, you can have 149 points and still take the point lead next week. So if you're back to Kyle Bisceglia, you could still have the point lead. Remember, there's only 130 points left on the board, so Vince freezing up is all that's left for the championship, really. Sean Angel needed that. Sean Angel really needed that. Like I said, wins and Catawba and Amaria are going to be incredibly important, especially, let's say, if somebody around, like, let's say, Pericles or Myatt were to win. That could be huge going into Donut City. As we go down the order, everybody with red points values are all mathematically eliminated. So Halleck, Wilhoit, Moss, Fitzwater, Griffin, Gurian, Dover, all the rookies are eliminated theoretically as well. As we go down the order there, as you can see, the Rookie of the Year standings is still a long way to go between Halleck and Dover. However, the Catawba Central International Raceway next week looks to be one of the most difficult tracks ARCSOA has ever gone to. Or actually, it's in 2 weeks, but that one's going to be a very difficult track, and we're expecting that to be a very high attrition race. And with Catawba on the schedule, Donut City's a street circuit, which is probably going to be a high attrition race, and then you've got your Amarian circuit. Anything is possible. Realistically, if you're Roush, Allen, Freeze, Monaco, I don't think you've got a shot. Even if you're Myatt and Rahal, I think you're going to be struggling. You're going to have to both win. I think you would have to win both Catawba and Amaria if you're down there. And that's going to be hard to do. In fact, I think that's the only way Maddie Myatt can ever win the championship, is let me figure that one out. If you got a 30 and a 50, the highest she can get is a 183. So if you are really Brocken down, actually, if you're Brocken down, really, or even Shepard for that matter, Shepard's the same way. You have to win both Amaria, or Catawba and Amaria. And I think John Art would be alright. John Art and Kenny Myatt would be alright to not win. They would have to win Donut City, Amaria. Well, maybe you don't have to win both those two, but you would have to essentially, like I said, win those 2 races. Realistically, you would have to. I mean, yes, there are some different point values that you could play with, but that maybe you wouldn't have to. But when there's a 25-point gap between first and second in Catawba and Amaria, I wouldn't be wanting to play with that game. And you'd have to get like a top 2 or 3 in all 3 races if you're below, like, really pad car and down. You're going to have to really play games good there. I think, realistically, Bisceglia and up are going to be your championship contenders. So we'll see you next time for the inaugural race on the Catawba Central International Raceway, the brand new home of the ARCSOA Hall of Fame. We have the ARCSOA Hall of Fame celebration coming up, where we induct Nick Mace, Randy Carpenter, William Carpenter. Of course, those two aren't related. William Carpenter, the founder of the series. Greg Brown and Jacob Hart into the ARCSOA Hall of Fame, and have the inaugural Hall of Fame Grand Prix at Catawba Central International Raceway. And like I said, that track is looking to be a very, very, very difficult road course.